Hello and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're taking a look at all the confirmed Premier League transfers completed so far in the transfer window. I'll be going through some important arrivals and departures at each club, giving you my thoughts on the deals and most importantly, discussing what they could mean for your Sun Dream team ahead of the new season's game. So I've produced a table just showing some of the main transfers in and out of Premier League teams so far this transfer window. So we start with Arsenal. So they've made the Hincapié loan move permanent, which I think is a good option. Hincapié did incredibly well last season, helped Arsenal to keeping 19 clean sheets in the Premier League last season. He's primarily centre-back, but he did cover left-back for a lot of the season and did very well. Trossard has obviously left the club. We presume that this Solis, hopefully I've pronounced that right, has come in to replace him. So he is only 24. He's a Greek international. And he played for Club Brugge and he scored 33 goals out of 74 games. So very good stats. And presumably he's been brought in to replace Trossard. I presume Martinelli will probably continue to sort of start on the left wing. If it's not Martinelli, then probably Eze. But they've paid big money for this new signing, so I imagine at least after a couple of games he could be sort of permanently in the side, and providing he comes in at a good price for the Sun Dream team, he could be an option given those stats at Club Brugge last year, and he's coming into a better side, so you'd think maybe that these stats will sort of continue at that sort of good rate, if not improve even further. You may have heard that there's talk of even Vinny Jr. coming to Arsenal. I mean, I can't imagine this will happen, but if it does, then obviously he's straight in, and he would be a massive talking point. I mean, it would be great to watch him in the Premier League, but I believe it if and when it actually happens, to be quite honest. So we go down to Aston Villa. So a couple of good recruits, but I do have some concerns regarding their team as it stands. So Rodgers has left for Chelsea. 138 million pounds is still a lot of money. Of course, he's gone to Chelsea, and they brought in Manzambi. So he is a young Switzerland international. He's just played in the World Cup. He scored 3 goals and 2 assists. So a very good all-rounder attacking player. Generally number 10, but did play off the wing in the World Cup as well. So a good replacement, but he's very fresh. Of course, he's not played in the Premier League. I think he'll need some time to adjust to the physicality of the league. So I expect he will be sort of on the bench to start with, and Buendia will still sort of play in number 10 role to start with. So want to keep an eye on, as I say, due to his return so far, but I think he needs a bit of time to settle in. Where I think there's a problem with Aston Villa at the moment is in their midfield. Now, they've lost Tielemans. He's gone to Manchester United, £41 million. And also they have some injuries in midfield. So Onana was injured in the World Cup and Kamara was already injured. So they've brought in João Gomez, who can slot in there. But from the eye test point of view, he seems to be a little bit more attacking minded rather than defensive. So I think they do need some reinforcement still in the midfield. So next we move on to Bournemouth. So they have signed a young striker, Rodriguez, 25 million. I am guessing he's going to be on the bench for the most part because they have Evan Nielsen and they have Creepy, who can play striker. So I think he's way down in the pecking order, maybe one for the future. Senesi has left on a free. He formed part of their defence last season, and I think for this forward season it will be Hill and Diakate playing centre backs. I think they still need reinforcements in those areas. Brentford, so they've added to their strike force. Obviously they already have Thiago, who was scoring a goal. He did score a goal every 2 games on average last season, but they've got a backup now. So they've got Anthony from Burnley and Wilson, who was at West Ham last year. So plenty of Premier League experience as backup for Thiago. We're obviously not going for anyone other than Thiago in terms of strikers for Brentford in the upcoming Sun Dream team. Next is Brighton. So they've really focused on the defence so far in the transfer window. Van Heck's left for Tottenham, £60 million, and they've brought in Vuskovic for £54 million. So similar sort of price just to fill that gap, as well as Pascal Struijk from he played for Leeds for quite a while. So yeah, they've got 2 solid defenders through the door for Brighton this year. Not really appealing to me so far, the Brighton defence. I think they gave up so many goals last season. I do think we just need to see how they settle in, what their numbers are like defensively to begin with before considering their defenders, unless we need a sort of enabler at a cheap price. Next is Chelsea. We've talked about Rodgers coming in already for that hefty price tag. Rodgers actually scored 14 goals and 12 assists in 55 appearances last season, so certainly one for goals and assists. In this Chelsea team, I expect he's going to be on the left because I think Palmer will be number 10. Enzo can also play there, but he ain't playing there this season, I'm sure, because of these Rodgers recruits. So I think Rodgers is pretty much going to be on the left. He's going to have a good relationship with Palmer. They're good friends in outside of football as well. So I think they'll come up with a good relationship. Santos, midfielder, gone to Manchester United. They had lots of other players that could play in that position. So not really much of a loss, I don't think, for Chelsea. They've got good money for him. Cucurella is a big loss in terms of personnel from the game, from no longer in the Premier League now. He only scored 1 goal, 4 assists last season, so in FPL terms, in fantasy football terms, not too much of a miss as you might expect, but certainly a miss for the game. He's a big presence, isn't he? Crystal Palace, quiet window so far. No obvious recruits at the moment. They have sold Lacroix to Chelsea, and along with Gahey last year that gone to Manchester City, they've lost 2 really good defenders, and I do worry how they're going to set up this season. Obviously, new manager. Are they going to recruit more to play in the back 5 to allow sort of Munoz to carry on his attacking threat, or is the manager going to go with a back 4? So we don't know how they're going to line up yet. More in pre-season, I'm sure, to build up a picture. Everton, quiet incomings once again. They seem to not have many transfers in most seasons, really, do they? They've lost Idrissa Gueye. He is a mainstay in their holding midfielder for many years. He's gone now, so he's going to have to be replaced with another defensive midfielder. So I'm sure they're looking for a replacement there. And lastly, Fulham. I do personally worry about Fulham in this coming season. They've lost 2 big players in their strike force. Jimenez, who's gone back to Wolverhampton, and Wilson, who's actually left on a free to go to Leeds. And I think Leeds have got themselves a really good player here. He scored 11 goals and 8 assists in 41 appearances last season. He's got a wand of a left foot. I can foresee plenty of assists for Calvert-Lewin, scoring with his head from assists from Wilson. So I am certainly keeping an eye on Wilson's price this year because I think I will probably have him in my team during the Premier League games. Ipswich have signed Maeda from Celtic. He's a 28-year-old Japanese international, lots of experience. He did score 44 times in 133 games for Celtic. So they have brought in someone quite experienced for their front line this season. They've also brought in Fatoil from Leicester City. Apologies if I've pronounced it wrong. Numbers weren't too great for Leicester, but he certainly brings a bit of firepower to their front line. Leeds, we've spoken about how I think Wilson is a great addition to their squad for this season. Liverpool have spent £40 million on Victor Munoz. I don't know too much about him, to be honest. He is apparently a left winger, so is he going to take place of Gakpo, or is Gakpo going to move somewhere else in the front line? So we just have to see. I don't have any more information, unfortunately, about him as a player. Of course, Liverpool have lost Salah now, and they've lost two of their back line for so many years, Kanate and Robertson. Gomez has also got an injury during this pre-season already, so not sure the details yet, but they're really without quite a lot of defenders at the moment. If Van Dijk was to get injured, then they're in big trouble, so I would have thought they'll be out there looking for reinforcements quickly in the defence. Man City, they've spent 135 million on Anderson from Forest, so holding midfielder. I think he's just going to go straight in the team because Rodri is injured and potentially looking for a move away, so he'll be straight into the team. They've lost Bernardo. He's been a great servant for the club, of course, but there's plenty of the firepower up front that I think they'll be okay in that department. They have lost quite a few defenders though. Akanji, Ake and Stones, all gone, but they've still got enough cover. I think maybe just to get one more defender in would as a backup would be good for them as a team. But they've still got the likes of Diaz, Guardiola, Aït-Nouri, O'Reilly, etc. for the back line, and Kusanov, of course. Man United, so they've really improved their midfield, something that they needed to do for quite some time. Casemiro was great in his day, but of course he was getting older and he was quite often being dominated in midfield, so he's now gone. So they've brought in Santos from Chelsea and Tielemans from Aston Villa, so I think that's a very good partnership there in midfield for Man United. Newcastle, I do worry about them a little bit this season. They've lost Tonali, great defensive midfielder, great at tackles, interceptions, long balls, switching play. He's now gone to Tottenham, and they've also lost Gordon, the real firepower up front on the wing, getting assists and goals, all gone, I'm afraid. And, whilst they've got, 190 odd million for these two players, they've reinvested 80 million on two players that I've not heard of for myself, really. Done a bit of research. Bamba appears to be the defensive midfielder. Presumably he's coming in for Tonali, but he's only 20 years old. He's very young, and I'm not sure if it's too much for him initially to start in Tonali's place. And then Toure, who is a winger, he did play for Hoffenheim last season. He scored 5 goals in 43 games. But again, we're very unfamiliar with him as a player as well. So they're not really assets at all, really, for fantasy football at the moment, in my opinion. We'll just have to see how Newcastle get on. But I do worry about them. They've lost some really great players, and they're not really bringing in players that are proven and ones that we're aware of, really. So we shall see. Nottingham Forest, so they've obviously lost Anderson, as we've talked about, and they've taken on Schlager, who's Austria international, very experienced, presumably to take Anderson's place. So it's good they've got that deal in. It means that, Gibbs Wright can continue in a forward position and continue at the rate of goals and assists that he was getting last season. Sunderland, not too much activity really at the moment. They are in Europe this season. I think they need to make some more transfers. They've taken on Meunier on a free, so Belgium international, lots of experience, and would no doubt be a good leader in that team. And they've let go one of their strikers, Mayenda, for 22 million. I think they need more. They need more transfers coming in to be able to ensure their safety in Premier League next season, because they've also got Europe to compete with this season. And lastly, Tottenham. So Tottenham have had a fantastic window. They really needed to make these signings last year, but I really don't think they'll be in a similar position at all this year than they were last year. They've really improved both the midfield and the defence. Both Tonali and Fernandes coming in, almost £200 million for two midfielders. I mean, it's a crazy amount of money, but I think they've got two really good players in the middle of the park now. And then with Romero likely going, Van Heck's come in from Brighton, likely to partner Van der Ven. And then we've also got Robertson that's come in with plenty of experience from Liverpool. Senesi probably as a backup centre-back. Of course, they still have Spence and Porro, so I think they've got lots of options. They're not in Europe though this season, Tottenham, so they could have done with these options perhaps last year to cope with the workload of numerous competitions, but at least they've made the changes now, so hopefully they can get back into Europe next season and be able to compete a bit better. So those are the transfers so far, and I'll update you in a couple of weeks maybe with any updates.